Episode 6 catches up on Andor, picks up, of course, Luthen picks up Cassian from going from Port Steergard, and he talks about, was it fun? Did you got what you need? He was like, well, yeah, but I'm thinking, but he's like, it didn't work out. He didn't want to agree with me and all that. And then Luthen's like, you gotta train, you gotta like be like a leader. And he's like, I'm trying to be like a soldier. So they have this very argument of, you need to be a leader, not a soldier. So there's some good dynamics there as well. Then he goes back to Biggs, seeing how what she's been doing. She's been taking more of the sleeping drug, like the crystal sleeping drug from the Ikari invaders. That was used to create hyperspace back in the Old Republic, and we realize that Cassian finds out Luthen came the other day, and he's like, "Wait, you came here without me telling?" And he goes to the shop, and he's very angry about this. It's like, dude, we're not droids, and he goes like, we're somebody. We are rebellions. We're rebels in a way too. And of course, we know in this episode that him and Clea realize that we have to get the take down Skolden's. He's going to take away all the art, so they go to one of the art pieces that we find out later as well. And Martha, of course, is seeing all the dinner tables and all that stuff. And then she goes to this later on. She goes to the Senate meeting where it's like something out of like Palpatine would say. This one alien's doing all like this. We come together as an empire. Those type like a Palpatine speech would do. Like those evil dictating speeches. And she should see her hands, the close of her hands just clenching on, and you just like she doesn't want to be there. She just wants to punch something, and she's a little angry as well. And we see that Cyril's on the mission for Dedra and Marcus, and Lofty finds out about this as well. Who goes to the party later as well? That they're going to, they need Cyril for the operation that we see later in this episode, and we get to see Sympha and Vina back together, and they're trying to reconcile about, I cared for you, and Luthen should have told me this, and because we know Vina is of course Martha's cousin and all that stuff, and she's obviously conscious and worried about her because they're cousins in a way, and Luthen's like, they'll be fine. And of course the party goes in, they're all Luthen, Mothra, Clay, they're all there, and also Bail Organa shows up, which makes sense. He's still around at this point, so this is supposed to take place after Kenobi, so it's nice to see him come back. So as is part of the timeline, goes from Kenobi to this, which is nice too. I know you've got the animated stuff in there, but that all happens like around this time. But it's nice to see him show up too, and everything's going all right. And then you told him about Clay talks to one of her friends. They told Luthen about the rappel, like, oh, he already knows. And then we see also critics there as well, and a bit of there was some great, and we'll see the heist on Gorman. They try to take some of the cases with the Imperial weapons in it, so they try and do that. And Cyril, of course, is spying, seeing what's going on as well, and it's really good, the intensity as well. And we'll see Clear and Lofty trying to use this one artifact which looks like a dartboard or like a maze. She's trying to twist it underneath, and you just see the intensity of her. You see the blood coming out. It's really good, and the way it was intercut was very nice, and all of that stuff. And there's a scruffle with one of the men on the heist, and the guy with the beard, of course. He gets into one of the scuffles, one of the guys, and then of course he tries to shoot him. Like, don't, like, if you come near me, I'll shoot you. And he's like taunting, like, he's like, oh, what are you gonna do? Shoot me? Like that type of arrogance. And the bullet and the blaster goes off, and it kills Sympha. And I'm like, oh god, she actually dies. And then Vina just cries and she just gets angry, and she tells the Gorman guy, I think, because of basic, like, they speak like French, or I think it's French because it's very French type. Just tells to him, why are you crying like a wimp? And I cared for her, I loved her, and all that. And she was like close to your daydream, like close to your fantasy, and it was really good. And we get to see, and then towards the end, we get to see Biggs just getting revenge. But before that, we do see the guy, the Imperial guy who hurt Biggs at season 1, and then we get to see his taste of his own medicine in this episode, where Biggs is waiting outside of the door. He walks in, and then he holds the gun, like, get in the chair, like, without no question, just get in the chair. Biggs just gets revenge, give him his own medicine, puts on the headpiece, the hypnotic torture headpiece, and then just lets it go loose, and he's just gone. And then she just walks out like a badass, like Sarah Connor style. Cassian's there, they blow up the building. It was great. It was an amazing ending. Now that's how they get come. That's vengeance right there. That's revenge. And I hope to see where we go in episodes 7 and 9. I think it's still 12 episodes, I think, like the last season 1. But yeah, fantastic. Just, so good. This is what good Star Wars is. You know? That a prequel that deserves and doesn't rely on member berries like some of the other ones do. I mean, yeah, they fill in the gaps, but I kind of know where those go. I'm not being snarky or anything, but that's just me.